The bad guys report government waste, public safety threats. Kevin Dietz and the I-Team investigate. You can make a difference. Tip off the Channel 4 I-Team. Call the I-Team tip line at 313-222-0691 or email the I-Team at WDIV.com. Exposing problems, getting results. Kevin Dietz and the I-Team on News 4, where local news comes first.
Rock, you know I love you, but it's Wheels Soap Stars Week.
Watch The Young and the Restless, Christoph St. John, Port Charles, Julie Pinson, and The Bold and the Beautiful's Ron Moss on Wheel of Fortune Soap Stars Week.
Wheel of Fortune, weeknights at 7. Go for it. Exposing problems, getting results. The I-Team on News 4.
Welcome to Open Doors, a weekly religious program produced in association with WDIV and the Christian Communication Council of Metro Detroit Churches.
Welcome. I'm your host today, Dr. Lynne Boyle, and I have brought some very special guests along with me today. I am going to introduce them to you in just 1 minute. But I want to explain why I brought these folks to the station today. And that's because I was thinking back into biblical times and how the Bible identifies those who have disabilities, who have problems that are a little different than what we would consider being the norm, and how these people were shunned and put out of people's lives. They had no home, they had no family, they were homeless. And then I thought, thinking to my friend Joe Dzenowagis here, what he does as a home finder with the Macomb-Oakland Regional Centers, and how times have changed and for the better. And the more I thought about that, thought we have a story here with MORC, as we can call it as an acronym, that should be shared with all of you out there in viewerland. So with no further ado, I'm going to let you know who these folks are and what they do, and then we're going to find out a little bit about the life they lead now. I'm talking about Rodney Perry over here on the end, a very interesting young man who's had multiple careers in his young life. And then my friend Joe here, and we'll get back to you a little bit later. New friend, Buddy Smith, who is with friends and family, and he has a friend sitting next to him, Arthur Badge. Arthur's looking very, very dignified in his suit today, all dressed up for the show. That's terrific. I'd recognize you even without your hat. And people are going to wonder, what is she talking about, the hat? They'll see you with that hat a little bit later when we show that piece of the video. Can you wait?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Joe, back to you. How long have you been a home finder?
Well, I've been with Macomb-Oakland Regional Center for about 20 years right now, and we're a large agency, a nonprofit agency. It used to be a state agency, and we found thousands and thousands of people with disabilities, places to live, homes in the community. Many were living in nursing homes or institutions, and their moms and dads couldn't provide care for them at home, or they may have not had family at all. And so we have a lot of other people who have come directly from the community into our programs whose moms and dads may not have been able to provide the care that they need, and they needed a home setting. So really it's a big agency, and a lot of people are now living out almost on their own, but with the help of caregivers like Buddy Smith. And Arthur Badge has been living with the support from our programs, and so has Rodney Perry for quite some time. And lots of different kinds of homes, apartments, condominiums, and just places they can call home, and we're out there supporting them and helping them get jobs in the community as well, rather than living in a nursing home or an institution.
You used the term shared lives when you were talking about putting this program together for me. Where does shared lives fit in between friends and family and what you do as home finder?
Shared lives is one of home choices for folks that, for instance, Rodney lives with a friend. He shares his life with a friend, and he has staff assistants, caregivers come in, and Arthur has assistance he shares his home with a friend and has assistance from caregivers. Shared lives is where someone may live with a friend who provides the caregiving assistance, and they sort of share their lives and share much of what goes on in life. And that's one of the choices that someone has, that they can live with someone full-time, whether it's a family or an individual who will actually provide the support for them in the community rather than a caregiver coming in as a paid staff.
Is this less expensive than to just institutionalize whole batches of people, or does it cost more?
The cost is a lot less for home care, but it's kind of I don't want to say it's not even the issue. It's kind of where do people belong? Where's the right place? You know, that people should live.
But politics often doesn't think that way. So how do you get around the money thing?
It gets in the way, and but fortunately it's not as costly as institutions or nursing homes have been, and the conditions have been horrible in places like that, and people don't belong there. And Rodney lived in one, and Arthur's lived in one.
Arthur sounds like he's joining in. You lived in one too?
I lived in one of the horrible experiences in my nursing home life. I lived in 3 of them, but I can tell you.
3 of them?
Yeah.
Oh my.
And I also lived in a couple foster care homes.
Was foster care better than living in the institution?
I can vouch for that.
Sometimes.
Okay, Rodney, you were going to say something about foster care.
Yeah, it wasn't. I was in a foster care home from 80 to 84, and it was very horrible.
It wasn't a good match. In other words, the family that you were with wasn't compatible with you?
No, it was, I was abused there very...
And who listens to you? Now, who can you turn to when you're in a foster care situation? Who can you tell? Who is made aware that this is not a good thing?
Well, when I was in that home, things were happening, and I would probably would talk about it a lot at school and find someone picked up on what I was talking about.
And that's the problem with the system, and Buddy knows because there's a lot of supports that go out there to monitor home settings. And before Rodney got into our program, there's a lot of foster care homes out there that don't have social workers going in, don't have psychologists or nurses, and aren't really well supported. And that's a big issue, is you can get people out of nursing homes or institutions, but you need the supports out there and the monitoring, the eyes on the situation to make sure things go okay. And, you know, Buddy's been a caregiver for years and years, and knows how that works.
Do you live in or do you visit the people to whom you're giving care?
Yes. No, I don't live there. Our company provides the services, the support services, mainly in Arthur's case. He has limited supports versus a group home where there's 24-hour care and a lot more supports. Arthur is left home alone sometimes for a couple of hours, where that provides him his independence, and it's his choice.
Yes, I love it too. To be able to answer the phone myself, to be able to be able to toilet myself, and just to be able to
answer the door.
Door. Well, they're gonna get us some electric doors. So, and just be able to do those things. And what makes it so nice is we have some nice neighbors that.
Oh, now that's very special that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
You have nice neighbors. I am so pleased that you mentioned that.
Because I had some neighbors take me down by the pool. Some guys, you know, wanted and they let me join in to the little pool, you know, tossing the ball up and hitting it, you know. And what is so nice about it is people just laugh along with you. Where years ago, about 20 years ago, they would laugh at something like that.
They would laugh at rather than with you.
Right.
And there is a big difference, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I think this is so much better than institutionalized. I can remember when I was back in the Warren Village, a friend named Robin Burdick, who I'm looking for, and I can't seem to find her. She's the first one I opened up to about my abuse. I was in a nursing home and other places I've been, and with my parents and stuff. The state took me away. And Robin was one of the very few kind people over there, and I'm still trying to look for her. I'm still trying to
Say the name again. Maybe somebody watching this program might know this person.
Robin Burdick.
Burdick?
Yeah, Robin Burdick.
Mm-hmm.
She's a very kind-hearted person and a very thoughtful person. I haven't seen her for, God, I've seen her since, last time I seen her was 1981.
Oh my goodness, 18 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just hope that somebody watching us today knows Robin Burdick, and we'll get in touch with Joe because it's his phone number that pops up on the screen today. Buddy, what kind of service do you provide when you go in to visit or give?
Well, I oversee the program. I'm the executive director of Friends and Family Incorporated, which is a nonprofit corporation that provides the services in different levels. Like I said, a group home, we provide 24-hour care. In Arthur's case, it's supported independence program, where it depends on, and I'm sure Rodney has the same factors, depending on his level of need, that's the type of services we provide for him. And it's my job to make sure those services are carried out.
So it might be caregivers, transportation, getting to and from work.
They were both saying they wanted limos, so now do you provide that?
If we can, but I have two ladies that are right now, their wish is to, one of the ladies has a stepmother out of state and she wants to fly there to visit her, so we're trying to make that happen now.
Oh, that's sort of like the Make-A-Wish Foundation, isn't
Yeah,
it?
kind of.
Yeah.
Arthur had an idea that he was sharing with us in the green room about getting a celebrity to come in to do a fundraiser.
Yes.
Would you like to very briefly mention that? Because then I want to get over to Rodney.
I would love to very briefly mention that.
Okay, go ahead.
One of my goals is to get Mr. Garth Brooks to do a benefit for friends and family, and have all the proceeds go with friends and family, so we can get some equipment that we need, and so help around Christmas time,
and to fulfill some dreams.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
Dreams.
super. So it's Garth Brooks we're looking for.
Yeah.
All right. Out there in Videoland, you heard it here first. We are looking for Garth Brooks to come in and do a benefit. And wouldn't it be amazing if it happened?
Something.
Now we're going to move over here to Rodney, who was the feature of a 7.5-minute video that Joe shot. And Joe, what did you shoot this for? I know it wasn't just for Open Doors.
Well, it's a video called Deep River, and we've known each other, what, 15 years now? It's about 1984, and Rodney, we interviewed him years and years ago, and then we discovered some footage of Rodney when he was 5 years old, and you were in Plymouth. And you remember that, too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
He will never forget Plymouth.
yeah,
He's discussed that with me, and this bad image in his mind sticks with him even to this day.
Yep.
And you lived there a long time, and we had this old footage we discovered, and then we taped him going back to Plymouth, getting it not when it was demolished.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to ask our director if he would, at this time, pop up the video, and we're going to see the first part of it deals with Rodney Perry, and then we're going to come back to the studio, and then a little bit later we'll see the part that deals with Arthur Badge.
Nearly 20 years later, Rodney Perry visits his childhood home.
Okay.
Rodney Perry himself was just 2 when he was placed in what was then a brand new institution, the Plymouth Center for Human Development. And like Mark Stillwell at Oakdale, he couldn't get out until 16 years later. Built in the 60s, Plymouth Center housed nearly 1,200 people. It was eventually shut down under federal court order because of widespread abuse and terrible living conditions.
Many of the retarded in state institutions are more physically handicapped than those found in private facilities. So it is with Rodney Perry, age 5. Rodney has been fitted with braces and hopefully will be taught to walk.
How does that feel, Rodney? Does it feel okay? Yeah. Okay, let's get you down.
Rodney Perry suffered from abuse in the institution.
The lady took me into the bathroom, into the back bathroom shower area, and she slapped me a couple of times.
For those who show some academic ability, there are classes.
Count again. One at a time. Count it. Let up. 1, 2, 3.
They had like a crib bed, and she put me in that thing, and she, slapped me in the face and everything. Then she left me in there, and she pulled up the slide and left me in there for a long time.
The institution's staff has watched Rodney. They know him. He's not lost in the herd.
They found Rodney Perry a foster home, but it didn't work out. He'd stay at Plymouth another 13 years.
For Rodney Perry, age 5, life is about to become one big, continual field trip.
Whoops. I thought you used to be a direct care staff person, Jerry.
Yeah, I was.
The Plymouth Center closed in 1984, also long past due for its appointment with destiny. Rodney Perry is one of hundreds of people from Plymouth, Macomb-Oakland liberated.
He said this place was the worst place that's ever been. All the horrors have been going on in here.
Time for a last field trip to Alfred Benet Hall, where he spent much of his youth.
Load up the truck with all the rubble.
Alice Sauls, a parent with the mighty Plymouth ARC, helped shut down Plymouth. Her son, Chris, a victim of abuse, lived in Benet Hall, too.
He lives in the community and has a couch to sit on and a bed to sleep in and a cover.
The wrecking claw made fast work of Benet Hall before they arrived. It's mostly gone now.
Pretty cool, huh?
Oh, yeah.
How cool?
Real cool.
Sad.
Jerry Provençal, now the director of the Macomb-Oakland Regional Center, was a direct care staff person on the wards in Benet Hall for 3 years.
It's a good day. It's a fine day.
Alan Greenkey from Wayne Community Living Services looks for a memento.
So what's the problem?
See it scratching here?
Geez, that wouldn't go real good with a graffiti, would it?
No.
Elizabeth Bauer, the mom of a daughter with a disability, was the training director at Plymouth. Now she's the director of Michigan Protection and Advocacy Service.
The screeching and squirreling, because those were the sounds I heard in the night here when I would stay overnight and wander through the halls. Those were the sounds that lived with me for always, that said I would have to work all my life to be sure it never happened again.
Marcia Tuck, whose young sister Melissa lived and died at Plymouth, was a student teacher there. Now she's an attorney for Michigan Protection and Advocacy Service.
It's a good day for people with disabilities. It really is.
Well, there'll never be another Plymouth in this state. There'll never be another institution built in this state because of places like Macomb-Oakland, and we're going to continue to make sure that we're a part of the community and our people are seen as a part of the community, contributors to the community, and we're going to continue to do what families want us to do and what people with disabilities want us to do.
Yeah, great. Ash to ashes, dust to dust. The Plymouth Center.
We are here to stay. The agency, the people, the spirit, we're not going away.
Got it. What's up, man?
Okay, how you doing?
Right.
Good.
Today, Rodney Perry lives in his own home with a roommate, and he works here at a large discount warehouse, Costco, as a customer greeter.
So you know everything that's going on, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
How you doing, ma'am? Nice your card, ma'am? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Welcome to Costco.
Got a lot of customers coming in?
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
Every day.
Jumping?
Jumping.
Really jumping?
It was really jumping. It was bouncing this morning because it was raining.
Really?
Yeah.
So how cool is this job?
It's very cool.
That cool?
Real cool. I check for receipts on return, and I count everybody as they come in.
Are we getting in your way,
Rodney? Check the cards. No.
I can't find my card, but I got a receipt. I want to return these shorts.
Okay.
Here's my receipt.
Okay, I need to put a sticker on the just meeting people. It's fun. It's fun up here. I like it. Thank you, ma'am, and welcome to Costco's. Thank you, ma'am, and welcome to Costco's.
And now, Rodney, tell me this. This is your second career in your young life. You were at Red Lobster before going to Costco. How do you land these jobs? What is the interview process that you go through?
Well, I go to the store, go to the place where I push to work. I talk to them and I ask them what, you know, what is involved in the job and everything. Then I ask for an application and then I wait for a while and then I get a call or something like that.
So you find these jobs for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That is truly amazing.
Yep.
That shows a lot of get up and go, doesn't it, Joe?
Oh,
Yeah, Rodney's real, he gets just about any job he puts his mind to, and he works with an agency, Judson Center, that helps provide supports for him.
Mm-hmm.
And you fill out the application and you wait for them to call you, and if they don't call, you bug them? Do you call them back?
Yep.
Good
I'll
for
stay on the
you.
phone.
That is just excellent. Now, between the Red Lobster, what you did in the dining room there, and your job as greeter at Costco, which do you prefer?
Costco's.
Are you going
Number
to
one.
pretty much stay there, make that your career? Or do you have another place down the road?
I may have another place down the road.
But for the time being, you're happy where you are?
Mm-hmm. More money.
Okay, all right. Now we're going to ask if our director would put the next video on, and that one features, now I see where the hat came from, Garth Brooks' hat on Arthur Badge's head. Let's take a look at Arthur on video.
You were in bed the last time. Remember you were sick? Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, how are ya?
Good.
Good to see you. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Paul. How are ya? Cool.
This is Arthur Badge. This is Akiko Ikeda.
Hi. Hi, I'm Judy.
Hi.
And this is Mr. Richard Campbell.
Hi, nice to meet you. And he's looking great.
Kiko,
Hi.
would you like to visit them by see a tour?
Of the house? Sure.
Yeah, see what
Let's
I-
go. Sure.
Yes, this is my room.
Wow.
Great, thanks.
Can you show me, you know, why did you choose this color blue?
Well, the color blue was for Michigan.
Michigan. Oh!
Michigan,
Oh,
Bolton Reed, who are the champions of college football.
Oh, college football.
I'm a people person. My ultimate people person.
Right.
My ultimate goal in life, and I'm determined to do this. My ultimate goal is to get about $10,000 and open my own charity center. Help children.
Help the children.
Yeah, abused children
Abused children.
who have been abused and stuff like that. Well, give me, have them an address for me, and I'll
Oh, sure.
write back and forth and give you advice.
Sure. Oh, sure. I'll give you mine. I'll give you my address. Yeah.
Like the hash. That's bad.
Thank you.
It's pretty bad. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Cheese. You're supposed to say cheese. Cheese it. Okay, take 2. Ready? 1,
2, 3.
Cheese.
So these the first homes you visited ever in your life?
To tell you the truth, yes.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive. It's been a good day, thanks.
You were telling me when we were in the green room that she was from the United Nations?
Yeah.
And that she really did write you?
Yes, I have gotten a couple letters.
A couple of letters. I wish you would have brought those because I thought when I saw that on the video that she was just being polite, but she really has been corresponding with you.
Yes, we've exchanged a couple ideas back and forth.
That is very special. Now, this isn't the apartment you're in now. This is one you had before?
Yeah.
Is the one that you have now different than this one that we saw?
Yeah.
How different? Bigger, smaller?
My room's bigger, and I just like being. I have a lot more choices in
this new building?
Yes.
Buddy, what is your role in finding the right apartment for these guys? Now, I know Joe finds the overall facility, but how do you find one that just fits with somebody's personality?
Well, I don't think it has as much to do with the personality as it does their physical needs.
Okay.
His roommate is blind and he's also in a wheelchair. So that's a difficult task, trying to find a place to live that would facilitate wheelchairs, especially electric wheelchairs their size. The apartment that he's in right now it's a wonderful setup. It's truly a handicap accessible apartment.
It was built that way?
Yes, his apartment is built specifically
because I know
for
some places had to be modified, but when they're built specifically, that makes it all the better.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you have a pool at your places?
Yes.
That is very fancy.
And I live with a wonderful roommate named Ricky.
Ricky is your roommate?
We've been friends we've known each other since we were, I've known Ricky since I was about 9 years old.
And you said he lived in the same block?
Yes.
That is amazing how these two guys came together. Who is your roommate? Let's mention his name too, Rodney.
I have two roommates.
Okay, who are they?
One is Fred Morin and one is David Allen.
So when they watch this program, you can say, I mentioned you on the air on Channel 4. I called attention to my roommates.
Yep. And my staff members, one's name is Wanda, Janetta.
That's two.
Tony.
Tony, three. And what do they do for you?
Oh, they make sure that we get good care. They make sure we get the best care there is.
What about meals and things like that? Do they have anything to do with that, or do you eat on the job?
Oh, I eat on the job as far as, but I, have breakfast in the morning, then I have my lunch
at work?
At work, and then I have dinner when I get home.
And do these caregivers help prepare the supper at home?
Mm-hmm. And I help them too.
Well, this has been just a delightful, fast half hour. It always seems like we have so much to talk about, and I'm just left with a whole mouthful of questions that I still haven't had a chance to ask. I'm going to have you back again, Joe.
I'll have to come back.
Yes. So I'd like to thank Rodney Perry for being with me, Arthur Badge, Buddy Smith, and Joe for the video that you put together, and also for bringing these three splendid gentlemen with you today. I'd like to thank our viewers for joining us today on Open Doors.
This has been Open Doors, a WDIV production.
News 4 is putting law and order on your side.
This is Ike McKinnon.
Our police chief for 5 years. He stood up to crime and fought to make our streets safe.
I'm Frank Kelly.
The state's attorney general for nearly 4 decades. An advocate for the people who took corruption head on. Now News 4 is putting law and order on your side.